Welcome to BC Spirits, episode number 14. Today we're doing vodka, and I am sitting down with West Bourget at, or Bourget. Bourget sounds better. At Olo Restaurant. As you can see behind us, the chairs are still on the tables. So it is literally 10 o'clock in the morning. West doesn't get up at this time in the morning, so he's done me a solid by coming down. Olo is a restaurant down in Victoria's Chinatown where it is a big local focus. Would you say that?
Yes, entirely.
So I brought down a few of the things that I had in my collection for BC Spirits, but also Olo's got a great selection of stuff too. So we're doing a couple of episodes here over in the next hour or so. That'll be split up over a couple of weeks. And so I hate to do this to Wes because I feel like it's so much more, but we're going to do vodka. And I know what people can say about vodka. I can say a lot about vodka.
It's great with caviar.
Vodka's great. See, you're going to be the positive one about vodka, aren't you? So for me, vodka, I come from the old school of like vodka was always like tasteless, colorless, odorless, blah, 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 blah.
As the American definition is.
Exactly. Until I did a tasting, well, probably before you were born, but a tasting, I think I was 22. So I was 2002. Okay. So with Jacob Bryce from 42 Below, New Zealand vodka. And we actually sat down and we tasted something like 42 vodkas straight. Jesus. Like he literally lined up on one bar, like all these vodkas. And I remember it was downtown Brisbane, and he lined up all these vodkas and we tasted every single one, and we wrote tasting notes for every single one. And it was that moment that I realized that every vodka has its place. So there is tons of BC vodka, like lots and lots of BC vodka. We're doing 5 today, some weird ones. We've got a potato vodka, which is cool, which is one of your favorites, yeah?
Yeah.
We've got a honey vodka. Or honey distillate. We've got one done with champagne yeast. We've got your house one here from the island, BC grown wheat. And then we've got a brand new one, which I don't know too much about, which is from Foot Cove and Gibson's. So we're going to kick it off. So first up, whoop, camera, there we go. We're doing the Ampersands Per Se, which was funny because Ampersand brought out the Per Se after they brought out the gin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, about, I think a year or 18 months after the gin came out, their Ampersand gin came out, they brought out the Per Se vodka. So it's 100% BC wheat. And I find this is actually one of the cleaner BC vodkas. So chances are, while we're filming, you're probably going to see chefs walk out from behind the thing and deliveries are going to come in. So there might be a little bit of racket. That's a clean, nice vodka. You get the wheat straight away. It's like that little hidden sweetness. Creamy as hell.
It's got some zing too. That's cool.
I always like it because when you start tasting things side by side, it just changes the way you perceive things.
Yeah.
Wes is spitting this morning because it is 10 o'clock. I've already been up for about 3 hours, so it's lunchtime for me, not breakfast.
I just had a donut for breakfast. I'm feeling pretty confident.
Next up, you don't see this around too much, but this is from Sons of Vancouver. It's their vodka. The cool thing with this one is it's a mixture of spring wheat, where they say spring wheat and malted barley. But the cool thing with this one is they ferment it with champagne yeast. Now, I think with vodka, more so than a lot of other spirits, because vodka is sort of like this naked version of itself, everything has to be put into play, and I think it's kind of cool that they use champagne yeast for this one.
That's super cool. Right off the nose, too, it's interesting. You get like, I want to say it's kind of like limestoney almost.
I agree on that one, yeah. That's kind of cool. When you think about it, is like the grains, the water that's used in vodka, the yeast is a factor. It can't just be any old yeast. Oh, there's a flavor there that I'm trying to put my finger on, and I can't. I want to say bourbon-y vanilla, like barrel bourbon vanilla. But there's a very odd flavor. There's a flavor there that I know from another distillate that I can't seem to figure. Now, if you're an enthusiast, you have to go to Sons of Vancouver. Their still setup is crazy. James and Richard and that, they're sort of like engineers that worked out on oil fields.
They're sweethearts. We love them.
Yes. And they're crazy stuff. If you watched the episodes, the blue curacao, the coconut rum, that's the thing. but they're
We got 4 cases of each.
you son of a bitch. They're still set up and everything. It's just insane how much stuff they make. They have these massive fermenters and then these weird, crazy little cobbled together, and you're like watching the pipes bounce around. It's really, really odd. But the vodka they make, I think their vodka is like their least selling SKU. Like their amaretto obviously kills it.
Yeah.
But
well, all of their products are so unique. I think that they all stand out. You look at a shelf and it pops out immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So next up is one I haven't actually tried yet, which is the the Salt Spring Shine honey-based vodka. So there's a couple of distilleries now doing honey. Obviously, the most notable one is Wayward up in Courtenay. So basically, what they do is they ferment to a mead and then they distill it off. The downside to this is that honey is prohibitively expensive, and so you don't see a lot of these guys, but they do all honey-based spirits.
And it's funny, it's made on an island because it smells kind of salty.
I have argued this with Salt Spring Island ales.
Yeah.
That Salt Spring has its own unique terroir.
Yeah.
With yeast cultivation and stuff like that. Like people call it a taint in some of the beers for Salt Spring Island.
Yeah.
But I call it a terroir taint, like a terroir thing.
Totally.
And I think it definitely has got that same sort of outdoory pollen, like polleny in the air sort of thing.
Yeah, that's sweet.
But it's earthy.
Mm-hmm.
Super earthy. Honeycomb's there for sure. Honeycomb is there for sure. That's crazy. I like that a lot.
That's quite nice.
That'll get the job done. So next up is one of Westie's favorites, which is why I put it in the bag this morning when I was packing up all my stuff. The Vital Vodka from Roots and Wings in Langley. If you get a chance to actually drive out to Langley and do it, it's a hell of a drive. They're based on a turf farm.
Yeah.
The Western.
Because the owner used to come into Clive's all the time.
Okay. Yeah. And that's where you found this one?
Yeah. Well, he would come in and he would always drink vodka sodas, and then one day he came in and he's like, "Hey guys, I started making my own vodka," and gave us a bottle of this. And as soon as I drank it, I was like, "Oh, this is super cool." And he said they were making it out of mostly potato with a little bit of corn, so it's super creamy with a little bit of sweetness.
I believe that's what they're doing these days. But the problem with potato is a lot of people think that Polish potato vodka, potatoes are a pain in the ass to change starch into sugars.
Yeah.
Especially potato starch into sugars to ferment is a nightmare. Distinctive potato on the nose.
Absolutely.
Like that funky, earthy Polish sort of tone.
See, for me, nothing beats that texture.
Potato texture is always up there.
Yeah.
But earthy, like it tastes like where it comes from. Same thing with the honey shine, like the Salt Spring Shine. That's kind of cool. Like spirits are derivative of where they come from.
Yeah.
And like you're on a turf farm, it's crazy out there. When I went to the Chilliwack, the Fraser Valley Distiller Festival, I was like, I'll take a little side detour.
Yeah.
Half hour, 45 minutes later, I finally get there. Just not a good side tour. So the next one is something that I haven't tasted yet. I got sent this from the guys at Foot Cove. So Foot Cove is just opened up in Gibson's. Wonderful packaging. They do a mineral infused one, which I thought about bringing, but then I was like, I won't bring it. I'll just do the classic. So I haven't tasted this one yet. Oop, a little bit of wax there. I believe this is malted barley.
100%?
I believe so.
Cool.
Don't quote me on that. But one of the first distilleries in Gibson's. So distilling in BC is going everywhere, so I may as well be in Gibson's. Ooh, malty on the nose. That's why I think it's malty. That's why I think it's malted barley straight away on the nose. That's
super
that.
Malty.
Yeah. Huh. But not as malty on the palate as I expected. It's still quite clean. Very oaty, bready. Almost brioche, like brioche. that one. Has been a couple of times where a couple of BC vodkas have become offensively malty. I can say that, it's fine. It's my show.
Offensively.
Well, offensively malty to be a point where they're not vodkas anymore.
Right.
Is what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas this, on the nose, you're like, okay, well, it's going to be a big whack of malt on the palate.
Yeah.
It's actually quite clean.
Yeah.
Reminds me of loading hay on the back of a truck when I was a kid.
I've never done that.
That's why tasting notes are personal. But like very hay, like running of the goats.
That's something I can relate to. Yeah, I still do that. At least once a week.
You go down to run. Really?
I love the petting zoo.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a whole different episode. We're not going to get into that today.
Don't date me.
I'm never editing any of this out. So there you go, folks. There's 5 BC vodkas. There's a lot of vodkas in BC. Like pretty much every distillery has vodka, so that's 76 vodkas. And I'm not going to do an episode where I taste 76 vodkas. That would be suicide.
I'll do it if you feel up to the challenge. There's after shifts that we can get.
After shifts, 76. Like I think a long table with like 12 bartenders, 76 vodkas.
Yeah.
But go out, if you like vodka, go and look for your local distillery stuff. If you like vodka sodas and you drink vodka more than anything else, go out and look for a local distillery and support one. Whether it's the Per Se from Ampersand, super clean, all the way to the funky Foot Cove and everything in between. Go out, get a bottle of vodka that's local and support your local distilleries. Okay, I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.